Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CNS Dialogue Den, CNS Mumbai's very own student led podcast. At the Den today, we celebrate World Mental Health Day, the occasion where we build mental awareness in the community and reflect the best mental health practices. I'm Virat Sangvi, and
I'm Zaisha Lakhani from grade 11. Our guest for today is someone who has truly done it all. Working as a radio jockey, MC, voice artist, actor, teacher, and now a mental health evangelist. Her career began in 1999 at All India Radio. And since then, she's worked with well-renowned stations such as Radio City and Cross Radio at the very first mall in Mumbai, Crossroads.
on stage, she's hosted events for big companies like McDonald's and KFC. She's also met game changing people like Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
She starred alongside the late legend Tom Alter in theatre and even explored Hindustani classical music. But what makes her journey truly remarkable is how she transitioned from media and entertainment into wellness and education.
Today, she works as a dance movement therapist, supporting survivors of gender based violence, inspiring students, and advocating for emotional well being in schools. She's also the creator of the YouTube channel Mind Your Health with RJ Keisha, where she shares her passion for self care and wellness.
Please join us in welcoming the incredibly dynamic personality, Miss Keisha Lobo Rodriguez.
We're absolutely delighted to have you today, ma'am. Our listeners are in for an inspiring and insightful conversation.
I'm so excited to be here. I think I'm looking forward to what I'm going to bring to the conversation, but also what I'm going to take back. So thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
That sounds lovely. Let's get right into it. So we were so intrigued when we researched and found out about your remarkable journey and how you've spread out in a multitude of fields. So like from radio to theatre and wellness to therapy. Now, if you had to introduce yourself to someone in just 3 words, what would you say?
Wow. All right. So I love how you put me in the spot right at the very start, but radio has made sure and instilled in me one of the qualities that I'm pretty proud about, and that is punctuality. So if I were to introduce myself, thanks to radio, I'd say punctual. I think the journey that I've been on recently for the last 14 years since I've become a mom has been one of constantly trying to understand how can I be more empathetic, more understanding. And so I'd like to say kind as a person and as a mom. And then when I've been on stage as an anchor, people always say that there's this energetic personality that they meet. So from the feedback that I've gotten, I'd like to share that I also want to say energetic and warm. So punctual, kind, and energetic and warm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we love that. Okay, for the next question, okay. Transitioning from the grandeur and confidence of being a radio jockey and a presenter to the sensitivity and connection required to be a mental space of the mental wellness. How was the change and what's your personal experience in the switch?
Okay. So now this was very conscious, right? I was enjoying being on stage. I was enjoying flying to various places, meeting fabulous people who are pretty much at the helm of their career because of the work they've put in. But I think getting ready. So for me, one of the biggies was maybe one of the words I should have said was mum, because the moment I wanted to become a mum, I started doing something called Landmark Forum. So that's an inward journey where you drop the stories and you start working on yourself. And then I started doing NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. Then I became a certified Waldorf teacher and brought experiential learning into my home space. And so, I wanted education to be as fun in my home space. I didn't want it to be bogged down and really stringent and only about the marks, but also about the entire experience and the enjoying the journey for her. I also became a certified. I did theater for little ones. I studied with Roberto Frabetti. I did a workshop with him, and then I taught theater for little ones, pre-primary to grade 2 for a couple of years. That was superb. And then I did dance movement therapy, where at the Center for Lifelong Learning at TIS, I studied, and since 2017, I've been on this journey. I've had the opportunity to work through the NGO that I work for, Kolkata Shambhed, doing dance movement therapy in different spaces. And it's been amazing.
Those
Very
are quite some
wonderful.
achievements.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, I would want to continue on to the educational aspect that you mentioned. As for your daughter, as a mum, what would you advise her and many students like her? How can they take care of themselves? How can they make time for themselves to, gather themselves, to take care of themselves, and maybe some small exercises or practices that would help them to just balance out, that stress levels and extracurriculars and sports and all the different things that the kids do today?
Well, my advice to my daughter and to everyone who's listening in is make sure that you. I know it's difficult because there is the stress quotient, but make sure that you kind of enjoy having that knowledge to put that down on paper. Right? There's always this thing of I've got to finish the paper. So, but and then later in hindsight, you're like, I forgot to read the question correctly. Oh my God, I forgot to write down the number correctly. Oh my God. And there's so much that we've built up, and then you've lost 15 minutes trying to go back and forth when actually all you needed was 2-3 minutes of calm at the start, and knowing that your best friend, and I call breath your best friend. So you've got your best friend with you constantly. So reach out or reach in to your best friend and take a couple of deep breaths. So ground your feet. You can do that right now. Go ahead, just ground your feet and take a couple of breaths. One of the world-leading psychologists, he's somebody who's got he's taken the most brain scans in the world of the biggest artists across the world, Dr. Daniel Amen. And he says, if you want to kind of calm yourself down, do the 15-second breath. And by that I mean 4 seconds. And what he means is 4 seconds in, hold for about 1.5 seconds, 8 seconds out, and hold for 1.5 seconds. So let's just do that once.
Okay.
Yeah. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. Breathe in. And create your own rhythm. It is 4 seconds, then a gentle hold. 8 seconds out, then a gentle hold. But you do this about 3 or 4 times, and you can actually feel your nerves settling. You feel yourself calming down. And I can see a sense of relaxation on your faces. So that's a definite go-to. So breath is a definite go-to. Now remember, when you're meeting up with your best friend, breath, do it as gently as possible. No sound, as calmly. No, always as silently as possible. This is just you reconnecting with you. And breath is constantly there, right? So that's definitely one of the go-tos that I tell my daughter. Being a dance movement therapy practitioner, one of the things that I always insist is that we move. You move your body, and you can do it with a walk. You can do it with just a stretch. You can do it with body tapping, but just moving the energy that gets stagnated when you've studied for more than an hour. Everybody's like, put in the time, so you quantity, but actually, Viraj, tell me if I'm right. It's quality of time that you put in, right?
100%.
So put in the quality. We are in a space of so much of artificial intelligence that we're forgetting the natural intelligence of the human body, right? So come back in, and and you'll be guided.
Yeah, 100%. After long study sessions, it really feels like you're exhausted, mentally drained. And even my mom recently has told me to, if you want to stay fresh, take a 15-minute break, take a 5-minute break, close your eyes and just sit down. That really helps out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be my new go-to as well.
Okay, now let's move the spotlight from our curiosity to the curiosity of the students from our school. Coming up, we have a Curious Scholar segment in which students from our school will have a chance to ask Miss Keisha questions. Each question will come through as a message, giving our listeners a glimpse into the curiosity and the creativity of a school community.
All right. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
Let's get
I'm
started.
wondering what these questions are going to be. So yes,
Okay.
I'm kind of gearing up
Okay.
for them.
Okay. For the first question, ma'am, you're a practitioner of dance movement therapy, which I've never heard of. Could you tell me what dance movement therapy is and how would you use movement to help express emotions that are difficult to put into words?
Mm. So if I asked you, and I'm throwing the ball back into your court, very quickly, tell me in a couple of words, Zaisha, what would you say dance movement therapy is if you just had to?
I would say good pace.
Okay, so moving at a good pace.
Good
Okay,
pace, consistent pace.
okay, so I like that. So creating a pace that's consistent and good for you. Okay,
For me, it's basically working your whole body out to release all the stress from, doing a single monotonous task for you've been doing for an entire day or let's say an hour or so.
okay, so moving your whole body. Now, would you also call exercising dance movement therapy?
To a certain extent.
Absolutely. So anything that dance movement therapy, like the name says, dance movement and therapy. There is an element of fun, movement, and music that we bring into a space that we called a safe space. And when we get you into the safe space, which is a space of non-judgment, that's when you realize that the body starts feeling safe. And when your body starts feeling safe, your body will speak to you in ways that maybe you've not been able to use words to speak. So when you run out of words, we don't really want to go ahead and say what we're really feeling inside, right? But the body, when we get you into this safe, non-judgmental space, and we are asking you not to really use words to say what you're feeling, use your body. That's when the body feels safe, and the body will move in ways to express and release trauma, release maybe comments from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, comments about you slouching, or comments about you're not doing enough work. I can't depend on you. Comments about, is this how it's always going to be? Do I always have to keep telling you? And the body is going on shrinking in. And with dance movement therapy, we use space where we allow your body to speak and say, I'm moving towards a clean slate.
Yeah, that's something we really need to take into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because while I'm talking to you, Viraj, I know you've got thoughts going on. Don't you have like multitude of thoughts going
Yeah.
on? And the work that you've done is where you can tell yourself, stop. I'm present here. I'm not outside of this room. And you're pulling yourself back in. It's because you've worked on the way you're thinking. And all of that work that you've done before is helping you right here in this space where the spotlight's on all of us.
Okay, so for the next question, a grade 8 student has asked this question.
Grade 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
After working with so many people from different walks of life, audiences, survivors, students, what do you think is one of the most of us need to hear more often when it comes to our mental well-being?
That you're unique.
Oh.
And you will find a space to express yourself. So just know that each one of us, and the point is, I am unique today, and I'm not the same Keisha 3 months from now, and I'm not the same Keisha from 10 years ago. So I want to tell you that you have a space, and keep searching for your space. And while you're searching for the space on the outside, keep working on your inside. So to everybody, you have to make sure that you are spending. We can't only hope for understanding from the outside. You have to realize that the understanding has to happen, and you have to enjoy or deliberately spend time with you. So to everybody, to students, to people who've had maybe tougher times in their lifetime, to a lot of us who come from a privileged background, to teachers, to everybody out there, we've got to make sure that we realize that we're constantly evolving. So be kind with ourselves, and and know that you know you cannot compare yourself with anybody else, and you can't even compare yourself with the you 10 years ago, or even a month ago, because there's so much of change.
Thief is a comparison of joy. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That answer felt like a cuddle, a much needed cuddle. That was really sweet. The next question is from a grade 10 student. A lot of people around me talk about anxiety and panic attacks, but I don't really know how to tell if what I'm feeling is just routine stress or something more serious. How do I know the difference, and what should I do if it is serious?
So all of us require stress to function, because if you don't have that element of being challenged, if you don't have the exams to work towards and then time running out, you will not complete a portion. It happens for teachers who've got to finish their portion. It happens for you who've got to, do your studies and your revision and get ready for the exams. What happens when and then we'll all periodically feel, it's just too much, I need to get out of here. It just, so stress like that, where you say, okay, I need to pull up my socks. No, I want to call up a friend. How much have they finished? And then you kind of, this is a different kind of comparison, which is going to propel you to want to do more. It gets to a point where you're angry, irritable, fighting with people around you, upset with yourself, upset if somebody hasn't woken you up at the right time in the morning. I said wake me up at 4:30, and why didn't you wake me up? I'm so angry, and now though I'm not going to study.
It's a universal experience.
It's a universal experience.
Yes. And so the point is, when that anger and frustration gets like so much bigger and you can't really control it, that's when you reach out to somebody like a teacher you trust, an adult that you can depend on, somebody who's created a safe space for you in the past, and you talk to them. You could even talk to a friend, but you'll know friendships that are sound and firm. You can talk to that friend. But in case there are thoughts that are, I just don't want to give this, I'm gonna drop 10th this year. This is it. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Everybody around the world is taking a gap year. So that's when you really may need to go to a counselor, somebody who's got the kind of support system to guide you towards what and what you really need to do. And there is no the world has this thing of mental health, but the point is, because the world can't see mental health, it's like a checkup, right? So go speak to a counselor, help me check in. Am I thinking crazy thoughts, for yourself? Am I with no emphasis on that word? It's just that, like, why am I feeling like I don't have control of the situation right now? And go have a check-in and a checkup. Yeah.
I mean, we've all been through that phase during my board exams, especially, completely drowned in subjects, no breaks, very frustrated.
Me, during my 12th, I was like, I'm not giving it. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I can give it next year. I'm interning in so many places. I'll just work. So yeah.
Okay, ma'am. This question I have is from an IB student. Okay. Sometimes I feel like my friends don't really get how I'm struggling inside, and I end up pretending to say I'm fine. I have tried to talk to them, but they don't understand my standpoint, and I resort to keeping my emotions to myself. Is it okay not to share everything, or should I always tell someone, and how?
Okay. So going back to the previous question, you can take that forward. But if you're fine with not sharing, that's okay as well. If you're not ready for a space of being judged, that is fine as well. Um, it's okay to create a pause for yourself, and that is one of the most powerful things you can do for you. A lot of us get um, over agitated and overstimulated, the word overstimulated, when there are too many demands or too much coming from the outside. So it could be in the way of maybe, friendships, it could be in the way of academics, it could be in the way of giving back to society, it could be in the. And when there's so much pressure coming from the outside, you don't know where you're being judged. Am I doing the right thing? It's got to be a certain level, right, to be part of society. Pause.
I really think that the pause is necessary sometimes in life. Even if you're successful or even if you're really big, you need to recoup and rethink stuff. Ma'am, a personal question from me. Okay, as IB is really rigorous, really time consuming, plus I have to do all the extracurricular activities for universities and stuff. I really don't find that balance in life. I really don't find the time for myself and time to maintain the fitness and the level of uh, happiness, or we can say to a certain extent, that I used to have before. So, what things do I do to work on it?
Okay. So now this actually is a very powerful question because Viraj, you've got to have non-negotiables in your life. Non-negotiables are like the skeleton. It's like these things are what my day and my life rest on. So if I'm committing to Viraj having 8 hours of sleep, then I will make sure that even if friends are going out to party, I will not go out because that is commitment to self. If I am saying that I am going to play the guitar for 15 minutes because that's part of my self care, then I will play the guitar for 15 minutes, come what may. And stack it with another habit. So stack it, I know I'm at home today. Just before I have lunch, I'll play the guitar. So I know I'm slowing down and then I'm coming to have lunch. I will non-negotiably go to sleep at 10:15, 10:30. And so even if I'm not getting sleep, I will go and do something really boring to slow me down. But create your structure, a routine for your day, a non-negotiable. So do about 5 non-negotiables. Start out with one. Do that for about a month till it becomes a habit. Once you know that you are invested in Viraj, then you will put in the time and have that up on the wall where you say, this is my non-negotiable. So hold me accountable. Let people at home see you and sometimes even taunt you, and you're open to that because you're saying, these are my non-negotiables. The days that I am feeling weak, I'm just feeling like not. Those days I need people around me, my support system, my community to hold me accountable and say, we're not here to be just stressed. We're here to actually be, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, moving on to our next question. This is from an IB student again. Ma'am, when I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I sometimes find it really hard to open up to my parents about what I'm going through. I know they care, but it just feels difficult to start that conversation. What would you suggest to someone who wants to talk to their parents but don't know how to begin?
You can't talk unless you have a relationship. So work on your connection. Don't bring up the biggies and don't bring up, and this is for parents as well. There can't be correction unless you have that connected relationship. So I don't know if you'll have the time for like a 10-minute, nighttime ritual together where you'll just listen to 2 or 3 family songs and you'll just act silly and crazy, or, you'll have some classic rock song, or, and you'll just, I don't know.
yeah, I and mom used to do that when we were a kid, because we were young, yeah.
And look at the smile that's come on, right? When you have some connection time. So that could be one of your non-negotiables where the family comes together and we create one non-negotiable of 10 minutes where we connect. When there is connection, Saisha, it's going to be fabulous. They will want to share. There will be openness in that relationship. There will be the parents sensing that something has not happened and bring it up. There will be the parents sharing about stuff they've gone through. And I'm sure that's what so work on the connection.
And that wraps up our student question section. An enormous thank you to you, Miss Keisha, for sharing your insightful and incredible knowledge on the topic.
It's honestly amazing to see how our students can come up with such brave and amazing questions that provoke such thoughtful conversations.
For sure.
And your responses definitely helped all the families, all the students, all of our listeners listening right now.
Yeah, it gives a really new perspective to what you're actually listening and to what you've done in the past.
Thank you.
Speaking of perspectives, we'll dive into our second round, which is debunking mental health myths, where we explore some of the most common misconceptions about mental health and we just want to shine light on the facts.
Okay, so from misconceptions about therapy and stress to what actually self-care means, we'll separate fiction from the facts, and so that our listeners can walk away with a clearer and healthier perspective about self-care and therapy. Okay, for the first question, ma'am, therapy is only for people with severe mental illness.
Therapy, so if it's therapy that is, you know, where you may go across to a psychiatrist, yes. But if you're somebody who wants to use talk therapy and go across to a counselor, like I said earlier, it's actually going to help you. You're not worried for a checkup for your physical body. I'm coughing, I've got a fever, I've got an ache and a pain, and we go. And nobody says anything. Are ache, pain, are. But over there, we're like, so no problem,
Next up, myth or fact. Teenagers are just going through mood swings and don't experience mental health problems.
It's all stitched together. The mood swings come from a time in life where teenagers, there's so much newness. Hats off. I want to applaud every teenager. Right now, you're doing what, so nature is making sure that you're moving into your next phase of life. You've got to take decisions on your journey professionally. You've got to take decisions on how you're going to fit and where you're going to fit into society. Am I going to come across as somebody who's, loud and energetic or quiet and, you're making so many decisions. Thank you for being sane and grounded. And I'm hoping the toolkit gets bigger.
Yeah, certainly. Emotional health only matters if you're diagnosed with a mental illness.
Emotional health is important all the time. And you need to know that emotions keep swaying the way that, your body is feeling that way. Have you exercised, not exercised? Have you connected with somebody that you love, not had the time to? Have you been overworked with pressures from the outside or not? So make sure that the emotions and the mind are connected.
Sounds good. Next, we have myth or fact. For teenagers, mental health illnesses indicate a sign of weakness.
Not at all. Totally a myth. Yes, totally a myth.
I mean, back in the day, people used to say, be strong-minded, nothing's happened to you. I mean, that's recently getting uncovered day to day. People are speaking a lot about it on the news too now, because it's been such an important part of student every day.
Absolutely. And so, it's okay to expect compassion and and to have a space around where you have people who are being present to you. So, yeah.
Those are all lovely answers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Keisha, for highlighting such vital insights and great detail of advice. Your insights have undoubtedly helped our listeners understand the importance of emotional health and well-being.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's such an helpful discussion we are having right now, debunking misconceptions and knowing a lot more about what therapy, mental health actually is. I mean, we have still barely scratched the surface. Yeah, and ma'am, if you would like to summarize what we have talked about right now, and the key takeaways every student, every parent, and any other person watching this podcast should have, what should they be?
So actually, I'm going to open my phone up because so there's a small anagram, okay, and I want to share smile with you all. And the moment you smile, it's like gently telling your mind, "I'm in a safe space. I can." So sometimes even if you want to just um, trick your brain into thinking, put on that 60-second smile and just you're faking it, but put it on. So let's go. Smile right now. Okay. And while you're smiling, the first, so it's SMILE. The S is to stretch. And by that I mean meaning move. So stretch, move, get the lymphatic system moving in your body, because when the lymphatic system is moving, you are going to move into a better space. Okay. So stretch. M is be mindful of your thoughts. Know when you've got the same recurring thought that I'm inviting you to have a positive bias. Look for the good things in your life. Look for things that are working out. Only you can train your mind. Nobody else can. Um, I is for a phrase that I heard many years ago that my daughter said to me. Inside is better. So keep moving within you. You've got this gentle awareness that you have. Some you'll know gut instinct wise. Should I? Shouldn't I? I'm overshared. No, I didn't exercise. Didn't study enough, and I'm still asking for more time. Is it right? So kind of your own conscience knocker. Your
Inside thoughts.
inside.
Yeah.
And L is love yourself because you are unique. And whatever anybody else tells you, whoever else they try to compare you with, remember, you are you, and you are I'm hoping, being honest, truthful, and constantly working to evolve you. And E is something that I feel every student needs to do and every human being needs to do, non negotiable exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to shift the way you work with your mind and your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you all still smiling?
Yeah.
That's added to my list as well now.
I'm glad.
And with that, we conclude today's episode with Miss Keisha Lobo Rodriguez, a loving mother, passionate mental health advocate, inspiring radio jockey, and a truly warm role model. You have our guarantee. Her helpful advice and suggestions for us adolescents on World Mental Health Day will prove to be incredibly foundational for our mental and physical development as we move forward into our adulthood.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure our listeners will make the best use of all the information you've given today. On behalf of CNS Dialogue Den, we would like to express immense gratitude for sharing your insights and experiences with us. Our conversation today has been extremely perceptive, and I'm sure our listeners will also benefit from your enlightening words about emotional health and well being. This is Viraj,
And this is Aisha,
signing off from the CNS Dialogue Den.
where your voice matters.
Thank you.